We have the real Big Ten football power rankings for this week, and we have a shakeup at number one. Locked On Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hey, do us a favor. Hit that free subscribe button down below. That way you and I will be in the same Big Ten club and you'll never miss a single episode. And if you could share, follow, and like, that helps too. And you can hype YouTube videos. Thank you very much for that. All right, the shakeup. I'll get to it. Plus, I have a little concern about the fourth Big Ten playoff team. I'll share that with you, and I want your opinion on that as well. So let's get to it. I'm going to put it on screen. If you're on Apple or Spotify, audio only, we're just putting up a list with the logos. So we'll start 1 through 10 and put it on the screen. All right, so there you have it. There you see it. Indiana. I have moved them up to number 1. I have moved Ohio State down 1 to number 2. And the reason follows something that we talked about a little bit last week. First of all, I think absolutely, we broke it down position by position. I think Indiana is every bit as talented as Ohio State. Then I started looking at their resumes and their rosters. Now, they both defeated a ranked Illinois team. Illinois was ranked number 9 when they lost to Indiana. Indiana actually blew them out by a substantial margin, over 50 points. So better quality win for Indiana than Ohio State against Illinois. But then also, we can't take away from the fact that Indiana won a top 5 road game at Oregon a couple of weeks ago. And now, again, you're saying, Buckeye fans, what about the season opener against Texas? It was number 1 versus number 2. True, it was. There is some consideration to that as well. But let's face it, Texas isn't what we thought they were. Arch Manning is not what we thought he was. There was too much false hype this summer. I'm downgrading that win just a little bit. Texas was not the number 1 team in the country at any time. We're the number 1. So I've made the flip here. Indiana 1, Ohio State 2. As of right now, I think both these teams are meeting each other in the Big Ten championship game in December. Oregon may want to have something to say about that. They're sitting at number 3. They remain there. I was very impressed by Oregon coming off the Indiana loss, traveling all the way across the country to Rutgers, not taking that game lightly. They were not sluggish or jet lagged or anything in the beginning, and scored 5 touchdowns in their first 6 possessions. I was impressed by that. Oregon's the deal. All right. By the way, check out our full length podcast. We did another one today, if you missed it, on Dan Lanning, Florida interest. One-sided though. One-sided. All right. Now here's where I need your help. So before we start talking about, as you can see, I have Iowa sitting at number 4. In fact, they're our biggest mover. I moved them up 5. You know, they shut out Wisconsin. They beat Penn State. Mark Gronowski's starting to figure things out. You know, I don't want to say it's a bunch of no names at Iowa. That would be disrespectful to the players. But you start looking, all right, who are the superstars on this team? The team is the superstar on this team. Again, typical Iowa football. They are just good. All right. They figured out, and Kirk Ferentz gets credit. And look, you can say they in the years past, they've had boring, low scoring defensive games. They put up points on the scoreboard. They find a way to do it. So anyway, this leads me into my larger discussion here. I've always said that there are going to be 4 Big Ten teams make the college football playoffs. All right. Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon. Who's the 4th? Is it Iowa? Is it USC? Is it Michigan? You know, Northwestern's tied for 4th right now in the conference as well. It's going to be Illinois, Washington. I don't know. As of right now, it's too hard to call. But in our power rankings, I got Iowa sitting at number 4 right now as the 4th best team in the conference. At number 5, I've got USC. Look, I really don't want to punish USC. I just dropped them 1 for that loss to Notre Dame. It was a ranked Notre Dame, and it was a non-conference game as well. But they were really disappointing. I thought they had their act together the way they beat Michigan the previous weekend. And then they could have and should have and would have. They could have won that Notre Dame game. But the turnovers, the mistakes, the kick return, they did it to themselves. USC, I thought was every bit as good of Notre Dame, and they could have won that game. Should have. I got Michigan. I moved them up one. Michigan used to be in the number 4 spot a couple of weeks ago here. I thought maybe they would be the 4th playoff team if they keep trending upward with Bryce Underwood. But I didn't. Then they had that loss to USC, and I didn't know what to do with them. Then all of a sudden they look good, at least in the second half against Washington on both sides of the ball. I don't know what to do with Michigan. I got them sitting at number 6. Illinois, number 7. Still only dropped them 1, just kind of moving people around a little bit here. Bye week, and then Washington next. Northwestern, again, in the standings, they're tied for 4th. I got them at 8. I've moved them up 4. They're the second biggest mover. Northwestern moving up 4 spots. They had that big win against Penn State. They shut out Purdue. Pretty good. Washington, they were a big disappointment for me this week. I've been talking them up all off season, been talking about all season, telling you to watch Damon Williams. He goes into Ann Arbor and throws 3 interceptions. A couple of them on consecutive drives. It was not good. That was very disappointing for the Huskies. All you Husky fans, you know what I'm talking about. UCLA cracking the top 10. They were at the bottom of our poll for the first month of the season. They were 18th. They're in our top 10. They've won 3 in a row. Hit the game-winning field goal at the horn against Maryland. And now they really get to test themselves. They're at Indiana on Saturday. Fox Big Noon doing their Big Noon kickoff pregame show, the whole thing over there. All right, so that's the top 10. Let's motor through the rest of these. All right, I got Minnesota, number 11. I've moved them up 3. I think they got a little momentum here with PJ Fleck. I was very impressed with what they did last Friday night against Nebraska. Nebraska had just cracked the top 25. They were 5-1, rolling in there, and they don't even score a touchdown against Minnesota's defense. And Minnesota's defense sacked Dylan Raiola 9 times. Yeah, Minnesota's got some momentum. They keep winning. I'm going to keep moving them up. Conversely, I've dropped Nebraska to 12, dropped them 4 spots. Again, disappointing on the other side, that game at Minnesota. I can't help but wonder if the Matt Rule noise in Penn State is affecting people. Maybe. I think it could be. Maryland at number 13. I've dropped them 3. They keep dropping. They started out 4-0. Now they're 4-3. They got to turn this thing around. They got to learn how to close out and win games in the fourth quarter. Penn State, what do you do with Penn State? They're 14th. They're plummeting. I dropped them 1. They lost at Iowa. They've lost 4 in a row. They're 0-4 in the Big Ten. Does a team need a bye worse than Penn State? And I got Michigan State at number 15. They're 0-4 in the Big Ten. I will give them a little credit because 2 weeks ago I said that they quit on UCLA, as evidenced by giving up 38 unanswered points. They came to Indiana ready to play. They absolutely did. They just didn't have enough talent to match the Hoosiers, but they came ready to play. They chewed up 19 minutes of time of possession in the first half. Rutgers, I got them sitting at number 16. I had higher hopes for them this year. Their defense is really a sieve, giving up a lot of yards and points. And look, Oregon's good, but Oregon came in there and 5 touchdowns and 6 drives right out of the box. And conversely, Ethan Kaliakmanis, who we're pretty friendly with here on this podcast, we like what he does, had his worst day at quarterback. He really, really did. Purdue, 2 games ago, I told you how they blew that lead to Minnesota. Then they get shut out by Northwestern. They're going to stay right there at 17. And Wisconsin remains in the basement. Wisconsin's got to at least score if we're going to talk about moving them up. They have not scored in 8 quarters, 2 games. And unfortunately, both were in front of the home fans. They get to see that. That's where the fire Luke Fickell chants and all that stuff, which, by the way, we learned it looks like he's going to survive the year and maybe even be the coach next year. I think they don't want to pay that $30 million buyout. That's what I think is going on there. And they like him. They want to give him a chance. Anyway, those are our power rankings 1 through 18. Let me know what you think. Did we get your team in the right place? Let me know. Would love to hear from you on that in the comments section. That stuff is always interesting. I always check it out. So if you're new, you can hit that subscribe button. It's free, and then you'll have us every day. Never miss a single episode. We're all things Big Ten every single day. And also, we're everywhere, not just video. We're also, if you like audio only, we're on Apple and Spotify. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe so you never miss a single episode. Download if you're on the audio. That would be great. And also, if you could share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten, that helps us out too. Don't forget, we have a website called talkbig10.com. That's the number 10. All of our podcasts go there. You can go find yesterday's there if you missed it, want to catch up. Plus, there are links there for your favorite Big Ten school merchandise with your logos, your teams, shirts, hats, all that stuff right there with our podcast at talkbig10.com. All right, in a minute, I want to go over how we're going to handle this upcoming weekend. You know, we go live on Saturdays, so we got all that coming up in just 1 minute right here on Locked On Big Ten. Mazda crafts cars for those that choose to do more than simply move. They follow what moves them every time they drive, and that's what makes Mazda stand out. They go beyond safety and style and performance to deliver a driving experience that feels alive in every single detail. Yeah, when you get behind the wheel, you're going to notice the details. You're going to feel safe. You're going to see the Napa, hand-stitched Napa leather. You're going to see the metallic accents. You're going to feel very special. And, you know, just like small details like that, small details make big plays in sports with athletes. And just like there's more to every single player, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running or lifting or cross-training with your favorite instructors. And it's training reimagined, built for breakthroughs with tools to help you plan and stay motivated and reach your peak performance. For example, real-time strength conditioning. It actually tracks your reps, suggests the right weights, corrects your form, makes everything safer and smarter. That's right. So let yourself run, lift, flex, push forward, explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today. That's at onepeloton.com. That's spell it out. ONE, onepeloton.com. Peloton.com. And if you want to go to some games, you need a ticket. Download the Game Time app today, and you'll be ready to go. Did you know you can get to a college football game for as little as $25 with Game Time? That's right. Best prices, no lines, no surprise fees. What you see is what you get. Just a couple of taps on the app, and you're good to go. And by the way, this not just sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, all that. Get the Game Time app. Shows you a view from the seat of the ticket you're about to buy as well. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. It's simple. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Thanks for checking us out here at Locked On Big Ten and making us your first listen each and every day. All right, stuff I want to get to coming up this weekend. Interesting slate of games around the Big Ten. They start at noon with UCLA at Indiana. Big noon on Fox. That's 9 a.m. UCLA time, by the way. A handful of noon games, 3:30 games, and then they trickle on down. The last game of the day, of course, is the 7:30 game on NBC with Michigan at Michigan State. That's the game we're going to go live after here on Locked On Big Ten. So we'll go live on the weekends, and we will recap all the other games, but especially also the Michigan State game with my immediate raw post-game comments and reaction. Yours too, because I get your comments and we get live real time back and forth with all that. So we invite you, mark your calendars, join us about 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific. We'll go live and recap the entire Big Ten. In addition to Michigan State. Many ways for you to interact with us in the meantime. Don't forget on Twitter or X at TalkBig10, number 10, our website, talkbig10.com. That's with the number 10. Hit that free subscribe button down below so you never miss a single episode. And if you could share, follow, and like, that would be great. And a final word for you college football fans. Locked On and Fire TV present the College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll from Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation along with two-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson and former college star Jesse Holley. And then all of our Locked On experts get together and boom, you got everything you need to know for the weekend. College football preview that only Locked On can do. Catch the College Football Kickoff every Thursday this season on Fire TV. That'll do it for us. Can't wait to talk to you again tomorrow. We'll have all the latest news, stories, previews of some games. We'll get that started as well, along with our Big Ten Classics and live action, all that coming up on the Thursday podcast. So make sure you make an appointment to check us out there. For Locked On Big Ten, I'm Craig Sheeman. Thanks for joining us here today. We'll see you tomorrow